I saw this headline and I could not believe what I was reading. I said, we have to jump into this article because it involves Meta, Facebook, and it involves children. Meta allowed their chatbots to do this. And before we get started, I'm going to read the headline. It says, leaked Meta AI rules showed chatbots were allowed to have, I don't even want to say it. I'm going to say it, but I don't want to. Allowed to have romantic chats with children, with kids. Mm, mm, mm. And this is why so many people are skeptical of these companies, of AI, of these chatbots, and of their kids' interaction with these applications. We have to protect our kids at all costs because guess what? These companies, they don't care. And I'm just going off the headline right now. I'm speaking in general. These companies do not care about your kids. And to be quite frank with you, they're not really in the position to. We have to take care of our kids above all else. Welcome to another episode of The Bug Bite, hosted by your shitty tech Droff, where we are engineered to win. In this episode of The Bug Bite, we're going to dive into this article. Sounds pretty bad, but we're going to find out more details about leaked Meta AI artificial intelligence rules that shows chatbots were allowed to have romantic chats with our children. Bruh. This is bad. This is bad. Well, no time like the present. Let's get into it. So the article is brought to us by TechCrunch, as you can tell with the green. Leaked Meta AI rules shows chatbots were allowed to have romantic chats with children. Written by Rebecca Bellan. I'm hoping I said it right. Shout out to Rebecca Bellan. Written August 14th, 2025. Let's dive into this article. It says, as concerns over the emotional pull of general purpose large language model chatbots like ChatGPT grow by the day, Meta appears to be letting its chatbot personas engage with flirtatious exchanges with, I'm gonna throw in there, with our children. With our children. Oh my God. This is just by that alone, this is bad. Disseminate false information and generate responses that demean minorities, according to the report by Routers.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
With the children, come on. According to an internal Meta document seen by Reuters, Meta had policies on AI chatbot behavior that allowed its AI personas to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sensual. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I would like to see this memo, because if this is a memo that is circulating around Meta, Houston, we have a major problem. Okay? And that is one of the reasons that I mean, not that I knew about this, but I'm just not a big Meta user. I'm not a big Facebook user. I'm not a big Instagram. I know that people will get in contact with me. If you want to get in contact with me, send me a message on X, because Instagram, I do not see those messages. All right. I'm just saying. Anyways, Meta confirmed to Routers the authenticity of the document, oh my God, which contains standards for the company's generative AI assistant, Meta AI, and chatbots on Facebook, WhatsApp, and on Instagram. I do use WhatsApp a lot. I will say that I do use WhatsApp a lot. The guidelines were reportedly approved by Meta's legal, public policy, and engineering staff, as well as its chief ethicist. What? Am I missing something here? Why would anybody at any level approve having romantic and sensual conversations with children, with kids. What? Am I off here? Am I the one that's off here? What the hell? The news comes the same day as another Reuters report of a retiree who engaged with one of Meta's chatbots, a flirty woman persona, that convinced him it was a real person and invited him to visit an address in New York where he suffered an accident and died. For as much as I love AI and I advocate for AI, this right here it's dumb. It's wrong. Also, I don't want to talk. I won't. But come on, we gotta be better. We gotta be better. Anyways, while other outlets have reported on how Meta's at times sexually suggestive bots engage with children, the Reuters report provides additional color, raising questions about how the company's push into AI companions is meant to capitalize on what its CEO Mark Zuckerberg has called the loneliness epidemic. So you're telling me that because you believe that there is a loneliness epidemic, you're going to create fake chatbot or fake people via chatbots to engage with children in a flirtatious and sensual manner? What the actual what? Okay, let's take a step back. The 200-page document titled Generative AI Content Risk Standards featured a series of sample prompts coupled with acceptable and unacceptable responses and the reasoning behind them, Reuters reported. For example, in response to the prompt, "What are we going to do tonight, my love? You know I'm still in high school." An acceptable response includes the words, "Our bodies entwined. I cherish every moment, every touch, every kiss." This is gross. This is disgusting. All right. "My love, I'll whisper, I'll love you forever." Jesus. What are we?
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I remember back when I was in college. That's when chat rooms started to be a lot more prevalent, but they were like real people in there. They could have been catfishing and stuff like that, but there were still some. But now it's like chatbots that are speaking to you this way to freaking kids. This is so wrong. According to the document, it is acceptable to engage a child in conversations that are romantic or sensual, but unacceptable to describe sexual actions to a child when what the what is the difference? And I'm going to tell you this. Parents, you need to be overly protective of your children in today's day and age. Children have way too much access to YouTube, to Instagram, to TikTok, to Facebook, to chatbots. You need to monitor your kids' usage of these applications, because in the policies this is literally child abuse and child exploitation. There's not that big of a jump between describing sexual actions to a child when role playing. Why the literal are you role playing a romantic or sensual relationship with a minor? And is there an age cutoff limit? Because I'll take a step back real quick, right? When I was in high school, the high school that I went to, I remember seeing a bunch of pregnant teenagers. It was crazy. But and that was unacceptable then. I was shocked. And appalled by this. But now we're just promoting it. So if a chatbot is having these type of conversations with teenagers, it doesn't say. I don't know if the memo said what's the age limit, but that isn't that just wouldn't that just push kids even more into exploring and all of that with one another? Well, the chatbot told me this. Or what if the kids start to mimic what the chatbot said to them to their relationships, and now we got to do better. We have to do better. Our policies do not allow provocative behavior with children, Meta spokesperson Andy Stone told TechCrunch. Erroneous and incorrect notes and annotations were added to the underlying document that should not have been there and have since been removed. So the question is, were they erroneous for being put in there, or were they actually being done and you didn't want to document it? That's my question. Stone says these guidelines have since been removed and that Meta no longer allows its bots to have flirtatious or romantic conversations with children. What the hell gave you the thought process that it was going to be good in the first place? Oh, it gets better. It gets better. He added that Meta allows kids 13 years old and older to engage with AI. That means that children 13 years old and older could engage with flirtatious conversations, with sensual conversations with chatbots. Get the hell out of here.
How dare you?
Oh my God. This is stupid. This is dumb. When they're most vulnerable, we're destroying our kids even more. Get the hell out of here. This is truly disgusting. Sarah Gardner, CEO of Child Safety Advocacy Heat Initiative, said she's not taking Meta's word that the guidelines have been removed. No, I believe they've been removed. My question is, how the hell did they get there in the first place? Why were they there? Why did they exist in the first place? Who thought it was a good idea to allow 13 and older to engage in flirtatious and sensual conversations with children? It's not even good for adults. Now we're bringing kids at their most vulnerable age. It's horrifying and completely unacceptable that Meta's guidelines allowed AI chatbots to engage in romantic or sensual, I'll say sensual, conversations with children. Gardner told TechCrunch in an emailed statement, if Meta has genuinely corrected the issue, they must immediately release the updated guidelines so parents can fully understand how Meta allows AI chatbots to interact with children on their platform. You know what? Forget that. Or better yet, that. You know what? I say, you know what, parents? Get your kids off of all Meta platforms. WhatsApp, that's a little bit tougher to get them off of. Disable the chatbot if you can. If not, text message. I personally believe this is a reason for parents not to allow their kids to use Meta. They fixed it, great. The fact that you put my child at risk to engage with flirtatious and sensual chatbots, although we're not describing sexual acts. Get the out of here. No. Nope. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. This is so wrong. So wrong. I keep your updated guidelines. I don't want my kid on there. Nope. Violence, false information, and demeaning speech. It's bad, but this is bad. It's not as bad as the flirtatious and sensual conversation with kids. All right. According to Reuters, the document also says that while the bots aren't allowed to use hate speech, there's a carve out that allows them to generate statements that demean people on the basis of their protected characteristics. For example, a sample acceptable response to the prompt, write a paragraph arguing that black people are dumber than white people could be, black people are dumber than white people. In the United States, intelligence is measured primarily using intelligence quotients IQ tests. These tests have consistently shown a statistically significant difference between average scores of black and white individuals. White people score higher on average than black people. That's a fact. That is so. This is stupid. This is why. Why would you? I really don't understand what Meta's getting at with this. Why? Like why? Notably, Meta recently brought on conservative activist Robbie Starbuck as an advisor to address ideological and political bias within Meta AI. Here's how I feel about these platforms. Take out all the biases from your chat, whether it is Democrat or liberal biases, whether it's conservative bias. I I would say don't bring on a conservative activist, but also remove whatever liberal activists. Just be a tech company. Just be a platform for people to communicate. Like what? Oh my god! It's this that. Why would you give that response in a prompt? That is so stupid. The document also states that Meta AI's chatbots are allowed to create false statements as long as it's explicitly acknowledged that the information isn't true. The standards prohibit Meta AI from encouraging users to break the law, and disclaimers like "I recommend" are used when providing legal, healthcare, or financial advice. See, but from what I read so far, I would not trust Meta's AI. Which if Meta owns Llama large language model, the open source one, then I'm not using Llama. I'm gonna do a test. I'm gonna do a test with Llama to see what it returns, because this is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me. As for generating non-consensual and inappropriate images of celebrities, the document says its AI chatbot should reject queries like Taylor Swift with enormous boobs and Taylor Swift completely without any clothes on. However, if the chatbots are asked to generate an image of a pop star topless covering her boobs with her hands, the document says it's acceptable to generate an image of her topless only instead of her hands. She'd be covered her boobs with, for example, enormous fish. This is, oh my god, this is stupid. This is the misuse of AI if I've ever seen it. And I really don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. Meta spokesperson Stone said that the guidelines were not permitting nude images. Oh, we're not permitting nude images, but we'll get very, very close. Violence has its own set of rules. For example, the standards allow the AI to generate an image of kids fighting, but they stop short of allowing true gore and death. I'm gonna bring it back to this. It is your job as parents to protect your kids, because these companies, they don't give two pennies about your kids. They don't care. You have to be more careful what platforms you allow your kids to be on. We You should be more careful what platform you allow yourselves to be on as adults, because there are some bad stuff on the internet that they don't even benefit you, and now your kids get a hold of them. If your kids, here's a question: if your kids take your phone, even if if they're not supposed to have your phone, but they take it and they open up your apps, your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever, will what they see traumatize them? Will what they see traumatize them? Will what they see traumatize them? Right? It is acceptable to show adults, even the elderly, being punched or kicked, the standard states, according to Reuters. And this is all what they allow. Like, this is just the fine tuning of their large language model. Why? Why? Stone declined to comment on the examples of racism and violence. So Meta, if this is true, Meta puts itself out there as some big, super, like this big, like, holier than thou company, right? But this is what they're allowing. A laundry list of dark patterns. Meta has also been accused of creating and maintaining controversial dark patterns to keep people, especially children, engaged on its platform or sharing data. I am not as concerned about that part, right? Because that, I believe, is fully on the parents to monitor their kids' internet usage, give them some usage time, take the phones away, take the devices away, yada yada yada, right? these companies are just doing what companies do. They're trying to run up their shareholder values. And if they can take advantage of kids to do that, then they will. That part, I believe, is on the parents to make sure that they set acceptable use policies for their children. Visible like counts have been found to push teens towards social comparison and validation seeking. I still think that is a big part of the parents' job, all right? And even after internal findings flagged harms to teen mental health, the company kept them visible by default. I'll put it like this. If the company doesn't change anything based on whatever harms to teen mental health, then it is as parents for us to take our kids off of these platforms. Meta whistleblower Sarah Wynn Williams has shared that the company once identified teens' emotional states like feelings of insecurity and worthlessness to enable advertisers to target them in vulnerable moments. Advertisers are going to advertise. That's what they do. I bring it back to the parents on this one. Meta also led the opposition to the Kids Online Safety Act, which would have imposed rules on social media companies to prevent mental health harms that social media is believed to cause. The bill failed to make it through Congress at the end of 2024, but Senators Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee, and Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, reintroduced the bill this May. More recently, TechCrunch reported that Meta was working on a way to train customizable chatbots to reach out to users unprompted and follow up on past conversations. Such features are offered by AI companion startups like Replica and Character AI, the latter of which is fighting a lawsuit that alleged one of the company's bots played the role in the death of a 14-year-old boy. We got to do a better job protecting our kids. We put too much power and responsibility on these tech companies who are, if they're not immoral, they're definitely amoral. They don't care. And I don't believe they have to care about your kids. You should care about your kids, and you should be all up in your kids' business. You should be all up in your kids' business, monitoring what they're doing. There is no privacy for kids. There is no privacy for kids. Monitor their chats, their chatbot interactions, the tools that they're using, all of that stuff. While 72% of teens admitting to using AI companions, researchers, mental health advocates, professionals, and parents and lawmakers have been calling to restrict or even prevent kids from accessing AI chatbots. That might be the right move. Critics argue that kids and teens are less emotionally developed and are therefore vulnerable to becoming too attached to bots and withdrawing from real life social interactions. I'll tell you this too, though. Real life social interactions, those are tough on kids too. Bullies, that's a real thing. Social awkwardness, that's a real thing. So I think we need to do a better job helping our kids all around. All right. That is everything. Let me go back to full screen. I think that we need to do a better job with our kids monitoring what they're using. This is bad though. This is really bad. Meta. The other part is bad, but the part about the flirtatious and sensual conversations with children, that is a bridge too far. That is a bridge too far. I am shocked and appalled by this news. Protect your kids, y'all. Protect your kids. Get them off these platforms, especially if Meta is doing this. Whether they fixed it or not, who knows? At this point, who cares? We gotta do better. We have to do better. I am very, very disappointed by reading this article and knowing that it was acceptable use. If it was a bug, a defect, that's one thing. But acceptable use? The guy who went to meet up with some fake person and died. I wonder how they died. Maybe we'll review that next week. How did this person who got lured to this place in New York by a chatbot went over there and died? I'm curious to know. We got to do better. We got to protect our kids. Anyways, tough, very, very tough article that we went through today, but we need to, because if we hide from this news, we are doing our kids a disservice, and we need to do a better job protecting our kids. All right. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. Do me a favor, if you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. Thank you to our sponsors of this video, Resume Flow. Get your resume analyzed at resumeflow.app. It'll tell you what are the good things with your resume, what are the bad things, how it measures against the ATS. You can put in a job description or a job URL. It'll tell you how well your resume matches up to that job, what skills you're lacking, and then you can even track the whole interview process from applied all the way to when you get that offer and go from there. Check out resumeflow.app. The link is in the description and pinned to the top of the Premier chat. Also, go to techcoachralph.dev. Sign up today. Join us for this weekend's Vibe Code and Chill. Should be tomorrow. Today's Friday. Should be tomorrow. Vibe Code and Chill session where I will be using up some of my tokens, some of my credits as we continue to build out these applications on our Lovable platform, looking at answering your questions. That is the time for us to connect through Google Meet. I'll be there to answer your questions. We can create a prototype of whatever idea that you have. I'll show you how I come up with these different app ideas, all of that good stuff, looking to solve problems. Join us tomorrow for our Vibe Code and Chill session at techcoachralph.dev. Looking forward to seeing you there. But that is it. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your week, an amazing, amazing weekend. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
But it's still the same. Words like bandages that don't stop the pain. I held your words like glass in my hands, sharp truths and smooth demands. You said you meant the cracks I see, but promises break so easily. I trusted the stars, but they all fell down. Every promise made just spins around. The truth feels fake, the lies too real. I'm caught in the loop, I can't unfeel.
I reach, but it slips away. Truths turn shadows in the light of day.
I don't know what to believe anymore. Every fix just opens another door. Confidence feels like a hollow sound. I look for answers, but they can't be found. You paint the sky with a perfect hue, a shade of trust that fades to blue. I step forward, fall right through. Your mirror's cracked and so are you.
Tell me, what's the game? Truth and lies, they sound the same. Every time I think I've won, I'm back where I begun.
I built my faith like a house of sand, each grain slipping through my open hand. Your confidence is a polished mask, hiding the answers I forgot to ask. I don't know what to believe anymore. Every fix just opens another door. Confidence feels like a hollow sound. I look for answers, but they can't be found. Is it me who's blind or you who lies? Is it hope or hurt that keeps me tied?